It's late. Your thoughts are awake. Settling close, innersomniacs. Christmas morning. The living room is warm with bodies and wrapping paper. Someone reaches for your gift. It's usually quiet for just a second. The paper stops tearing. They lift their head, and suddenly, everyone is looking at you. Your breath catches. Your smile goes tight. You're looking anywhere but at them. At the tree, at your hands, at the floor. Anywhere that isn't their face as they tear away the paper. There's a moment when the gift stops being the problem and the attention becomes the danger. That exact moment, you start disappearing in place. And later, when the night is quieter, you wonder why something so small made you want to vanish. If you're listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That specific panic when all eyes turn to you, when you'd give anything to disappear, when a moment meant to be warm feels like standing under the most unbearable spotlight. Tonight, let's talk about that moment. Here's what's happening in that moment. The room goes quiet. Everyone's watching. The receiver pauses, holding your gift, and for about 30 seconds, you stop being a person in the room and become the person who chose this. The person whose taste is on display, whose thoughtfulness is being measured. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, the phenomenon where we dramatically overestimate how much others are noticing and evaluating us. But here's what's important. Even if the spotlight is distorted, your nervous system still feels its heat. Your heart rate picks up. Your face flushes. You're suddenly hyper-aware of your expression, trying to look casual, interested, appropriate. But inside, you're scanning, watching their face for micro-reactions, reading the delay between tearing paper and showing emotion, measuring the authenticity of their smile. You're looking for evidence, evidence that you got it right, or evidence that you got it wrong. This isn't paranoia. This is pattern recognition shaped by a lifetime of reading faces. And right now, the face you're reading holds your worth in its expression. There's something that happens when you give a gift in public that doesn't happen in private. You merge with it. You're not separate from what you chose. You become the gift. Your taste, your thoughtfulness, your understanding of this person. All of it compressed into a single object that's now being held up to the light. This is what psychologists call self-representation, the moment when an object becomes an extension of your identity. When they open it, they're not just opening wrapping paper, they're opening what you meant, what you hoped to communicate, the care you tried to translate into material form. And if that translation fails, if the gift falls flat, if they seem disappointed, if it's not quite right, that failure reflects on you, or it feels like it does. This is why you want to disappear, because you've made yourself visible through this gesture, and now you're trapped in that visibility. You can't take it back, can't soften it, or explain it, or adjust it based on their reaction. You just have to watch your care be received, and hope it lands the way you intended. Some people give gifts easily. They choose something, wrap it up, hand it over. They're curious about the reaction maybe, but not invested in it, not dependent on it. If you're listening to this, you're probably not one of those people. You're someone who feels things deeply, who thinks about the gift for weeks, who agonizes over whether it's meaningful enough, personal enough, right enough. Who puts care into the choosing in a way that goes far beyond the object itself. You're trying to show love through the gift, and when it's opened in public, that private gesture becomes a public performance. Your quiet care is suddenly on display. The gift is just the surface. Underneath is something more vulnerable, the exposure of how much you care. And here's what makes this harder. You might have high rejection sensitivity. This is a psychological trait where you've learned, through patterns in early relationships, to to anticipate rejection before it happens, to scan for signs of disappointment, to feel hurt brewing even when it might not be there. If you grew up where affection was unpredictable, where approval had to be earned, where love came with conditions, your nervous system learned to stay vigilant, to detect the moment when you've done something wrong, because detecting it early meant you could fix it, adjust, make yourself more acceptable. Now, watching your gift be opened, that old system activates. You're not just watching someone respond to an object, you're watching for signs that you failed, that you weren't thoughtful enough, that you misread everything. You're pre-feeling the disappointment, which means even a neutral reaction can feel like rejection. There's something else happening at Christmas gift exchanges that makes this worse. Comparison. When gifts are opened in a group, they're implicitly measured against each other. Someone gave a handmade photo album. Someone else gave expensive concert tickets. Someone brought wine. And you brought what you brought. The gifts become a public ledger of closeness, thoughtfulness, financial means, and you can feel yourself being ranked, even if no one's saying it out loud. This taps into something sociologists have studied for over a century: the social weight of gift giving. The anthropologist Marcel Mauss wrote about how gifts carry obligations, signal relationship status, create invisible debts. When you give a gift, you're making a small declaration about how close you believe you are to someone. And if you've misjudged that closeness, if you've given something too intimate for a casual relationship, or too impersonal for a close one, the mismatch becomes visible to everyone. The gift exposes your assessment of the relationship. And if your assessment is wrong, you've just revealed that you don't understand the dynamic as well as you thought. No wonder you want to disappear. Here's one of the hardest parts. You can't trust their reaction. You know that social scripts require certain performances, that people smile and say, "I love it," even when they're underwhelmed, even when they're confused, even when they're already planning to return it. This is basic social grace. This is what we do to avoid hurting people's feelings. But if you're someone who reads beneath the surface, who notices micro-expressions, slight delays, the quality of enthusiasm, you can often tell when gratitude is being performed rather than felt. And that knowledge traps you, because now you're watching them perform, watching them do the emotional labor of pretending to be more excited than they are, and you know they're doing it for your sake, to spare your feelings, to make this moment easier, which somehow makes it worse, because polite gratitude can hurt more than honesty, because the performance itself is evidence that the gift missed its mark, and now you're both stuck in this dance of pretending it didn't. You're not imagining this, you're not being oversensitive, you're just highly attuned. And that attunement, that ability to read what's really happening beneath what's being said, is both a gift and a burden. Right now, it's a burden. Let me reframe something important. This feeling, this wanting to disappear, isn't evidence that something's wrong with you. Your body is responding to genuine vulnerability because you are being evaluated. Your thoughtfulness is on display. Your gesture of care is being received publicly. This is real exposure, and your nervous system is right to feel it. But here's what I want you to understand. Your body learned that attention plus obligation can be dangerous. Maybe in childhood, when giving the right gift meant you were good. Maybe through relationships where love was conditional, where approval had to be earned through constant attunement. Or maybe you're just deeply empathetic. You feel other people's disappointment as if it's your own. You can't bear the thought of letting someone down. So every gift becomes weighted with responsibility, and watching them open it becomes watching yourself succeed or fail. None of this means you're broken. It means you care deeply. It means you're perceptive. But it also means you've turned gift-giving, something that should be joyful, into a test you have to pass. And here's the truth about care that no one tells you. Humans weren't designed for constant visibility. We evolved expressing love in small, private gestures. Gift-giving, for most of human history, was relatively intimate, one person to another, witnessed by few. Modern Christmas has turned care into theatre. It's taken something private and made it public. And some of us, the ones listening right now, we're not built for that kind of visibility. Not because we're shy or broken, but because we love quietly. The most meaningful expressions of our affection happen in moments no one else sees. The text we send, the small favor we do, the way we remember details that matter. When that private care is forced into public performance, something essential is lost. The gesture becomes about the watching, the evaluation, and you feel that wrongness. You feel how exposing it is to have your care become spectacle. The wanting to disappear isn't weakness. It's recognition that this moment doesn't match how you actually experience love. So here's what I need you to hear. You're allowed to give gifts privately, to hand them over one-on-one in quiet moments without an audience, to say, "I'll give you mine later," and mean it. You're allowed to step away when group gift opening begins, to excuse yourself, to remove yourself from visibility that feels exposing, even if everyone else experiences it as joyful. This isn't avoidance. This is honoring what you know about yourself, that you give from the heart. And watching that heart gift be evaluated publicly doesn't feel safe. The people who truly see you will understand. And if they don't, if they judge you for protecting yourself, that tells you something important about whether they actually recognize who you are. So this Christmas, I want you to remember something. The real gift was never the object. The real gift happened weeks ago when you started thinking about what they might want, when something reminded you of them, when you carried them in your mind and wondered what might bring them joy. That attention, that sustained noticing, that's the actual gift. The object is just evidence of something that already occurred. So if watching them open it feels unbearable, if your body is asking you to leave, listen to that. You've already given what matters. You don't owe anyone the performance of watching them receive it. Care doesn't need an audience. Love doesn't need applause. Thoughtfulness doesn't require witnesses. You can give beautifully without being seen giving. You can show someone they matter without turning that showing into a public event. And to the people listening who feel this deeply, who want to disappear not because they don't care, but because they care so much that being seen caring feels dangerous. You're not too sensitive. You're not broken. You're just someone who loves in a language the world doesn't always know how to speak back. And that's not something to fix. That's something to honor. Drift off or dive deeper. I'll still be here in the quiet hours, innersomniacs.